Hi Second Skin fam, and how are you? I hope you all enjoyed a wonderful weekend. Today I want to introduce you to a Canadian fragrance house that I don't think gets nearly enough attention. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know I love discovering Canadian perfume brands, and this one has a bit of a personal connection for me. This is Le Cento Perfumes, a niche perfumery based in Hudson's, Quebec. And what's really neat is that before I moved to BC, I lived in Pincourt for about 8 years, and Pincourt is about 20 minutes away from Hudson's, Quebec. So to know that there's an incredible perfumery tucked away in an area that I know just feels a little bit more special. So who's Le Cento? Well, they're a Canadian niche fragrance house that handcrafts their perfumes in Hudson's, Quebec. Rather than trying to copy what's popular, they focus on artistic fragrances with a story behind them. That's something I really appreciate because niche perfumery is all about emotions, creativity, and rather than just smelling nice. One thing I also love is that they offer a discovery set. So if you've watched my channel before, you know I always recommend sampling before buying a full bottle. And this discovery kit lets you experience the whole collection before committing. And the cost of the discovery set is later credited back towards your purchase of a full bottle. Now, the presentation of these perfumes feels incredibly premium. Each sample is generously sized and it really encourages you to live with the fragrance instead of making a decision after one spray. I wore these over several days because I wanted to experience them properly rather than just rushing to a conclusion. Now, let's start with my favorite, Paradis Brûlé. The name translates to burned paradise, and before I even sprayed it, that immediately got my imagination going. To me, it sounds like a story of a tropical paradise after the sun has set. Warm woods, glowing embers, fruits that's become richer in the heat. When I smell it, I get this beautiful contrast, the brightness in the opening, but underneath is this warm richness that slowly unfolds. Nothing feels harsh, nothing here is screaming for attention. It develops so beautifully on the skin. As it dries down, it becomes smoother, creamier, while still keeping that depth. This isn't your typical sweet fragrance. It feels sophisticated, confident, something you'd wear when you want people to lean in and ask what you're wearing. I'd probably reach for this in the evenings or even in cooler months, although honestly I'd wear it year-round because I enjoy a fragrance that tells a story. What I love the most is how the notes work together instead of competing. Rather than smelling individual ingredients, you experience one complete picture. That's often what separates niche perfumery from designer fragrances. Instead of saying, oh, I smell vanilla or I smell citrus, you're experiencing an atmosphere. Now, the second fragrance I really wanted to talk to you about is Secret. I actually love the spelling here. Instead of spelling Secret S-E-C-R-E-T, they spelled it S-Y-C-R-Y-T, which immediately just creates this feeling of mystery. The official notes here are jasmine, saffron, amber, sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. And normally when I hear jasmine, I expect something really floral, but that's not what happens here. The jasmine feels refined rather than loud. The saffron gives it that luxurious warmth, and amber adds some richness. And the sandalwood just smooths everything out with that vanilla softening the edges without making it smell like dessert. Then the musk ties everything together and gives it that clean skin feeling in the dry down. For me, this sits right between masculine and feminine, and it's simply a beautiful fragrance. I think these are for people who are ready to explore something different than what's sitting on the shelves at Sephora. So if you're someone who enjoys discovering fragrances that not everyone else is wearing, Le Cento is definitely worth sampling. They're unique without being difficult, creative without trying too hard, and wearable enough that I think most fragrance lovers could appreciate them. Overall, I came away really impressed.